Welcome to Concordia on Air. Tonight,
on news, Concordia prepares for fall break.
And in our segments, more information about greenwash.
And we'll learn more about Rocky Horror.
all that and more on Concordia on Air. Hi everybody, I'm Jackson.
And I'm Zion.
And welcome to our special before break special Halloween episode, last installment before we all kick back and enjoy fall interim. What do you have planned for fall break, this upcoming fall break?
I would say lots of stuff. First of all, I'm planning to watch a movie with my sister on Zoom, and I'm also planning to visit some people that live here in downtown, but also there'll be a lot of some homeworks and some walk. What about you?
Well, I'm gonna go home and go home. I'll go home and think about the crippling debt I'm in. Yeah. What movie are you watching with your sister?
We're thinking of watching in spirit of Halloween, the movie called The Conjuring, which won't be that scary because we watched it before, but still it's a nice, fun experience too.
Well, there's always a chance to find more scares in whatever scary movie you're watching. Mm-hmm. The scary movie I will be watching is my debt unfolding right in front of me. Yeah. What else you got going on?
Honestly, I would say not much. What about you?
Well, besides my debt, of course, I guess I've got the warm weather to look forward. It's apparently supposed to be 70 degrees on Saturday if you're going to be in the cities. Up here, it's still going to be like, you'll get 62. But if you are looking for that last day of 72 degrees, it's not going to look the best because all the leaves are on the ground and whatnot. But it will be 72 degrees in the cities area on Saturday, so I'm going to enjoy that.
It's actually nice because it's like much warmer than any of the weather that we have been having.
Yeah, it's been 36 degrees, but it's not as nice as the news.
Yeah.
So welcome to news, I'm Kay.
And I'm Andy. Welcome to our first story. In September, some commentators were confident that Democrats might be able to avoid a red wave, but with just 3 weeks to midterm election day, momentum from the overturning of the Roe versus Wade and President Biden's string for the summer legislative wins could be the warning. Polling have the 2022 general congressional vote, a closely watched indicator for the midterm performance, shows Democrats' average advantage over Republicans, peaking in mid-September with a 1.3% lead, a decent advantage given that Biden's approval rating consistently hovered in the low 40s. However, 3 weeks away from the midterms, Republicans have managed to gain back momentum that they have not seen in months, leading by 2.2% on average when voters are asked which party they would support, according to Real Clear Politics.
Concordia's fall break will take place from Saturday, October 22nd to Saturday, October 29th, and there is preparation to be made for the week away from classes. The traditional residence halls will be open as well as apartments, and whether or not you or your roommate are staying for the break, there will be a break check on October 21st. Break checks are typically done for breaks that are 5 days or longer, and it's asked from the staff that residents keep their drapes open halfway, keep their heat on at least setting 3, take out trash and perishable food items, turn their lights off, and unplug any appliances that aren't going to be used. Also, a reminder to take your keys with you, as staff will be locking room doors after checks are done.
Adding to some scientific news, the so-called pillars of creation are cool, dense clouds of hydrogen gas and dust in the Sapiens constellation, some 6,500 light years from the Earth. Every large telescope has imaged this seen, most famously the Hubble Observatory in 1995 and 2014. James Webb has given us yet another incredible perspective. The pillars lie at the heart of what astronomers refer to as Messier 16 or M16 or the Eagle Nebula. This is an active star-forming region. Webb, with its infrared detectors, is able to see past much of the light scattering effects of the pillars dust to examine the activity of the newborn suns.
Recently, there's been an invasive species called the Asian jumping worm, and they thrive off of eating humus, a top layer of soil that's composed of leaf litter and small decaying animals. Because they eat so quickly and can reproduce twice as fast as earthworms, they can cause other wildlife to decline in the ecosystems they invade. They can also infest soil to very high densities. They're believed to have been introduced to the United States in the late 1800s and went unnoticed until they've recently been flagged as an invasive species in the last few years. Since then, they've been noticed in at least 35 states across the U.S.
And into more scientific news, Florida is seeing an increase in confirmed cases of flesh-eating bacteria this year due to the impact of the Hurricane Ian. Health officials said the Florida Health Department has reported 65 confirmed cases of Vibrio vulnificus, a flesh-eating bacteria, and 11 deaths so far this year as of Friday. That compares to 34 cases and 10 deaths reported in 2021 and 36 cases and 7 deaths in 2020, according to the state data. This year has seen the highest number of reported cases in Florida since 2008. State data shows the increase is driven by a surge in the cases in the coastal Lee County, which was devastated by Hurricane Ian after the Category 4 storm made landfall on the Florida's southwestern coast on September 28th.
So Netflix placed an extra user fee or plans to. So multiple people sharing one password for a Netflix account is coming to an end. Netflix is cracking down on password sharing for Netflix accounts by creating a fee for logging into an account on different devices in many different locations. While it's unclear just how much the monthly fee will be for multiple users sharing one account, Netflix states that this update will be coming in early 2023 with more information to be given. And now an interview with Jackson and Maya about Rocky Horror.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm Jackson, and I'm joined with Maya today, who's here to talk about Rocky Horror. So, Maya, what can you tell us about Rocky Horror?
Well, what I can tell you immediately about Rocky Horror is our version of Rocky Horror is not the normal version of Rocky Horror that most people know and love. It follows, obviously, the same script, the same plot, the same musical numbers that everybody knows, but the aesthetics of our particular show is very different. Instead of going for the traditional approach that most productions do, which is kind of just copying the movie, we kind of made up this whole new aesthetic for us to use in our show that's inspired by queer culture throughout history. It's inspired by rock and roll. It's inspired by all things glitz and glam. So it's going to be very different than what most people, I think, will be expecting.
Okay. I guess what drew you to the to auditioning and now excites you about it?
Yeah, so the Rocky Horror Picture Show, which is the name of the movie. The Rocky Horror Show is what the musical is called, the stage show, but the Rocky Horror Picture Show, the film, was a movie that I discovered I really, really liked, especially in recent years. I really love all things camp. I love movies that aren't necessarily that great of a film, but have such a fun cult following, such as the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And last year, I actually had the chance to go see a live showing of the Rocky Horror Picture Show at the Fargo Theater. And that moment then was really when I cemented my love for the show and the concept of Rocky Horror as it's like on its own. But then when they announced that it was the show that was going to be being done here for the musical this semester, I immediately knew that I had to audition.
Okay. So I have kids at home that I did not kidnap.
Oh, yes.
Should I bring them to the show?
Your kids. Jackson, I would not advise you to bring your children to this show. I will say this show involves a lot of more mature themes, a lot of more raunchy comedy. It's nothing like Into the Woods. That's what I'll tell you.
Nothing like Into the Woods. Okay. Nothing like Into the
Nothing
Woods.
like Into the Woods.
Is that a good thing?
Except
or
it has
bad
a similar cast, but
thing?
that's
It has a
about
similar
it.
cast. Keep an eye out for familiar faces in those Into the Woods fans.
Ben Salazar's up there again.
Yes, we
Doing
care
his
about
thing.
you, Into the Woods fans.
Yes.
Yes.
Solidarity with the Woodsies. That's their fan name. I made it up
Yes,
just now.
the Woodsies. So I guess to the Rockies.
Okay, yes.
What are you looking forward to most that they should keep an eye out for?
What I'm personally looking forward to most in terms of my own performance is I'm just really excited to get to be in a musical again. I haven't done musical theater since my senior year of high school, which is now 4 years ago, which is really crazy, and it makes me have a crisis every time I think about it, but it's okay, because I'm back and I'm in a musical again, which is kind of like one of my favorite things to do in the entire world, and I haven't really had the means or the time or the ability to do that here at Concordia in the past. So I'm excited to just be acting up on stage in a musical setting again. But for people who are just excited to see the show in general, the one thing that I say to look out for is look out for the ensemble members. We have 8 fantastic ensemble members whose characters, the Phantoms, are pretty much on stage for the rest of the show. They're around, they're giving call-outs that are usually called out by the audience at the live shows. They're all dressed up in something completely unique, completely designed by them and our costume designer. So I say definitely look out for how unique those characters are, and notice how they're always kind of there, and they're always interacting with the scene, and they're always feeling something that is going on. And I just say pay attention to the background more than you do to the foreground.
All right. So for those of us that can't read, when is the show dates?
The Rocky Horror Show is going to be performed on November 10th, 11th, and 12th. November 10th is an 8 p.m. showing, and then the 11th and 12th have both 8 p.m. and midnight showings. So make sure that you get your tickets as soon as you can and be there. It's going to be a fantastic show.
How do I prepare for a midnight showing?
This is a really great question. I definitely recommend having some form of caffeine. I get really tired. I get tired at like 10 o'clock, so that might just be me. But have something in your body that's going to help you keep going throughout that 2-hour show. I also say bring your friends, even friends who don't like musical theater or don't like the Rocky Horror Show in general. I don't know anyone who doesn't like the Rocky Horror Show, but definitely bring your friends along. It's going to be really fun and unique and just like a fun outing. And it's like on campus at midnight. What other events happen on campus at midnight other than the Rocky Horror Show? I don't know.
Lots of sleeping and studying.
Who
But
knows?
the Rocky Horror Show sounds way more interesting than sleeping and studying.
I will say
at
that with
midnight.
confidence.
So if you are excited for a great show, head on down to Francis Fraser Comstock Theater. Tickets are free if you are a student or faculty here.
So you have no excuse.
Yeah, if you're not, you're up a creek without a paddle. You got to pay those $5. Sorry, pal, can't help you. But I think, thank you, Maya.
Thank you,
go
Jackson.
see Rocky Horror Show. Maya, you can't see it because you're in it.
I can't.
But you know what you can see right now? An event about greenwashing.
Hi, this is Zion, and in today's editorial we'll talk about greenwashing. With the rise of the drought in the Yangtze River in China, the drought that followed that's plaguing the US, and the unprecedented heat waves that are plaguing Europe, climate change and along with has greenwashing have been a growing concern. In this editorial we'll talk about greenwashing, define what it is, how it affects us, and what can we do to combat it. So what is greenwashing? Greenwashing is the purposeful disinformation of a company to appear more eco-friendly than they are. This involves outright lying about the eco-friendliness of their product or exaggerating the eco-friendly aspects of it in an exaggerated and unrealistic way. So who engages in this act? Companies, organizations, people who have influence like celebrities and influencers, basically everyone involved in marketing and selling products and services could engage in this. Where does it happen? It basically happens everywhere. It happens in advertisements, in our internet, in our packaging, in speeches, in our television, in all aspects of life. Why does it happen? To understand why this is prominent, we need to take a look at key figures. Challenge Your Life, an organization dedicated to fighting climate change, conducted a survey in 2020 and found out that 82% of people are willing to pay a little bit more if the product is environmentally friendly, and 1 in 10 people can't identify blindly trust the claims of a product, and 30% of the people can't identify if the claim made by a product or service about being eco-friendly is true or not. So companies have people willing to pay for eco-friendly products, and people who are not very good at telling whether those products are eco-friendly or not. And instead of spending time and a lot of resources and being more eco-friendly, it makes more sense to them to use their already existing marketing budget to market their product as friendly, basically painting their product green, hence the name greenwashing. So why is it problematic? Aside from the obvious problem that greenwashing is making it hard to gauge our progress in fighting climate change, it has opened a range of doors for exploitation. So these problems existed before greenwashing, but after the success of greenwashing, things like bluewashing or business claiming to give to the poor or part of their profits to the poor, pinkwashing, businesses claiming to work with cancer and LGBT organizations, and leanwashing, businesses and products claiming to have health benefits, have ramped up their false and misleading advertisements in these areas. In case of greenwashing, it comes in a form of framing oneself or a company as an ally to environment. For instance, let's take a look at Shell ad. The fossil fuel industry is one of the biggest contributors to climate change, and Shell contributes to 1/3 of the pollution. But here we see Shell advertising itself and claiming, let's keep the skies blue. Of course, this advertisement was made with backlash, but it kind of shows the trend of how greenwashing is used as a way for companies to frame themselves in key environmental movements while not contributing a single thing to that. So what can we do? As consumers, we have money, and money is the magnet that moves companies in any direction it goes. And we can direct our money to products that are actually sustainable. And here is the problem. We want to pay for products that are sustainable, but we don't know the products that are sustainable. And how can we identify that? Well, for one, there are organizations, third-party organizations that give recognition for companies that are sustainable. There's the Energy Star, there's the Forest Stewardship Council, the USDA Organic Seal, and the Green Seal. And we can look at reputable companies or organizations that give this seal to businesses and products, and we can buy based on this seal. And more importantly, we can do our research. Yes, we are one consumer, but like we know other consumers, and we can use information to fight this trend. The climate change is being more real, and painting it green is not going to carry it anymore. Thank you. And now we will have an interview with Andy and London.
Hello, hello. Welcome to our second part of the interview. Now with a different person, with a different host too. My name is Andy, and I'm here with London Johnson today. We'll be talking about Habitat for Humanity. So welcome to our studio, Johnson. So could you tell us more about Habitat for Humanity?
Habitat for Humanity, our main focus is to create affordable housing for anyone that can, so they can, live as anyone would want to.
Yeah, I can have a lot of questions about that, but just from the basics, when did they start doing a program at Concordia?
At Concordia, I believe it started in I'm pretty sure it was in the 90s. Mm-hmm. I can't remember the exact day off the top of my head, but.
And like, what kind of activities have you guys participated in?
We send spring break trips and fall break trips every year, every semester. Mm-hmm. And fall break trips are pretty new. We started those 3 years ago. Yeah. And now we're up to sending out 3 different trips in the fall, like 3 different places. Yeah. and that's the most we've sent out. And we also have some on-campus activities such as some cornhole tournaments and the sign-up night for the spring break. There is usually lots of games, hanging out, movies, and just having a fun time.
And someone might ask, who gets to decide why you guys want to do a project?
It's mainly up to the spring break and fall break coordinators. But it's kind of, we reach out to a lot of different places, and it's kind of who reaches back to us first. And we kind of have some regular spots that we go every year, every spring or every fall, that have treated us really nicely and have been really easy to work with.
You've said that you do a lot of projects, and that means that requires also a lot of money. So how would you say you guys get funding from?
We are funded through Concordia, through CMC, but we also get a lot from alumni and through anonymous donations. And then we also do our own funding for trips through, like with Azul Nutrition, we sell like little shake tickets, and we get half the proceeds from that. And then we also, from like our little events, sometimes like the cornhole tournament, there'll be a buy-in fee and stuff like that. And then we also will go to churches, and during their mission portion, we will talk to the congregation about what we do, and they'll often give us free will donations.
Oh, and is it open to Concordia faculty members and students, or is it just for students only?
For the trips?
Yeah.
For the trips, we always send one advisor, and that's some faculty, and we always reach out, and we always need more help with that.
So for the students looking out there to be engaged on campus and also in the community, this is one chance for you. So if you want to apply for the spring trip, how do you go about that? What's the process like?
We will send out more information on our Instagram, Cord HFH, and there'll be a sign-up day where you have to show up and sign up in person.
Well, make sure you follow them if you want to engage with such trips, because I'm very sure they're very fun, and also you get to travel around or across the states. Well, thank you so much, Johnson, for joining us tonight. And now to more about scary movies.
Hello, welcome to Arts and Entertainment. Tonight we're going to be talking about some scary movies, some Halloween recommendations. So I have 3 categories here. Not scary, that's for people who are like, I want to get into the Halloween spirit, but I don't want to be scared out of my wits. I've got a little scary, that's for the people that are a little bit further than most people along in their horror experience. And then I've got Sleep with the Lights On, because let me tell you, these 2 movies, they're going to change how you do your day-to-day. So I'm joined with Kay today.
Hi.
Kay, have you seen any of these 6 movies up here?
I've seen Frankenweenie. I really want to see Smile, though. I feel like
see.
Smile would be terrifying.
It is. I was listening to the soundtrack in the shower the other day. I do not recommend listening to the Smile soundtrack in the shower.
You were listening to the soundtrack of
Yes.
a horror movie in the shower.
I kept expecting to open the shower curtain and find my roommate smiling horrifically at me. So into the not so scary recommendations. So you said you've seen Frankenweenie.
Yeah, I'm a huge Tim Burton fan.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen like Frankenweenie, Corpse Bride, Nightmare Before Christmas, all of the classics. So I like all the animated ones.
Yeah. So for the audience that doesn't know what Frankenweenie is a stop-motion animated horror, not really horror movie, horror-tinged movie for children. It follows the same basic plot as Frankenstein, but instead of a monster, we follow a little boy who creates a cute little dog that's a little monster dog. You'll cry your eyes out. You won't be scared, but you'll be tremendously sad the entire movie. But you'll also laugh quite a bit.
Yeah, I feel like the animation, because I give the characters such big eyes, I feel like that along with the grayscale and stuff like that, it makes it a little bit more weird and eerie to look at them. But otherwise, yeah, the story's really sad. It got me in tears.
Yeah. So if you're looking for a little nice Halloween vibe, but you don't want to be scared, Frankenweenie, available on Disney Plus. I'll accept my paycheck now, Disney. So moving on to another not so scary recommendation, we have Frailty, which stars Bill Paxton and a slightly younger than you may recognize Matthew McConaughey. In Frailty follows a family that has some interesting religious experiences, and there's some supernatural elements involved, and there's a lot of questions of morals and who's crazy and who's not. One of my favorite tropes is like when you only have half the information.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're a fan of the TV show Supernatural, this is a great recommendation. It kind of follows that kind of same family tropes and who to trust and who not to trust. Frailty, I can't really say too much about it because it's a twisty movie. It's got more twists than M. Night Shyamalan. But yeah,
Are there any ghosts in it?
There are no ghosts, but there might be other supernatural, perhaps celestial beings.
Celestial beings?
Yes.
Okay.
But that is up to your interpretation and whether or not you trust certain characters. Moving into the a little scary, we have The Hole in the Ground. The Hole in the Ground is about a single mother who is raising her child in this secluded Irish rental home. I don't know why you would want to live so far out away from civilization. I feel like, especially when it's just you and a child, that's where things go wrong. And if you are afraid of children, especially creepy demonic children, The Hole in the Ground will definitely get you. That hole in the ground is a scary place, and let me tell you, you're going to want to keep any child you see from any rabbit hole you see. You're not going to trust a hole or a child again.
Yeah, that boy on the cover looks like he'd probably get me in my sleep or something.
Yeah, he's a little devious creature.
Sounds terrifying.
Yes. It's not too scary, though. That's why it's in the a little scary. And moving on, we've got Cabin Fever. If Jaws made you afraid to swim in the water,
it did.
Cabin Fever definitely will make you afraid to drink it or bathe in it or just touch it.
What's with all the horror surrounding water? I just want to swim in peace.
It's the thing we need most in our life, and people just exist to make us not want to trust it. So Cabin Fever follows a group that have gone to a cabin and discovered that there's a flesh-eating virus in the water. There's something in the water. So lots of crazy shenanigans. It's very gross out, very disgusting. Again, you're never going to want to be near water ever again.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Now moving into Sleeping with the Lights On. I swear I did not do this, but the posters both have very similar taglines. Sinister is once you see him, nothing can save you. And then Smile is once you see it, it's too late. So very similar plots that both revolve around a seeing a thing curse. And it revolves around a group of characters who have to try to break this curse that is potentially threatening to their lives without seeming crazy. Leading with Sinister, it stars Ethan Hawke and is directed by Doctor Strange's director, Scott Derrickson. This was one of his claims to fame before doing Doctor Strange. But yeah, it revolves around a true crime novelist who finds some creepy tapes that he should never have watched.
Uh-oh.
Don't watch tapes you find in your attic,
Yeah,
folks.
don't watch anything suspicious that you find in your attic.
Yeah.
I feel like that's just one way to get to being cursed or something.
Yes, that is true. And Smile follows a psychiatrist who witnesses one of her patients commit suicide after smiling horrifically. And you're never going to trust somebody that smiles again. You're never going to trust yourself. You're never going to trust anybody. Smile creates trust issues, everybody. That's available in theaters now. I highly recommend you check it out over break. There's lots of time.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of stuff about it recently. I've heard it's terrifying. My uncle took my little cousins to go watch it.
I would not take children to it. Not a movie for kids. But yeah, so support Smile, support Paramount Pictures. They're having the year of a lifetime with Scream, Top Gun Maverick, and now Smile. Support my personal favorite actor's daughter, Kevin Bacon. His daughter, Sosie Bacon, is the star. So support Smile. And support all these movies, really. I think they're all available on some streaming service or another. So please watch them and enjoy your fall break and have a happy Halloween.